your free time to have ideas. All right. Okay. Before we proceed, allow me to refresh your memory about the today class. It is about the knowledge. It is a foundation of our course. If you still not sure the meaning of knowledge by reflecting to yourself, I think something wrong somewhere in from my lecture or from your understanding. It is foundation, the core to understand the knowledge management. It is about, as mentioned in the beginning of the class, it is about how you really you survive in the IT industry or any industry you are in. Okay, uh, to or correctly to contribute positively to your organization by suggesting on how to leverage the assets, the intangible assets, which is the intellectual resources of your company, to leverage it. And this thing and this practice, this effort are still being correctly initiated or try to be, they have tried and error in many companies. I receive few feedback from my students inform me that this thing, oh man, okay, okay, while waiting, I think it is quite distorted to my flow of ideas to give the lecture bit, so they keep coming. Okay, while waiting for your friend to join, please write down your name at the chat section as a proof of attendance. And before that, I would like to apologize for last class cancellation. It is beyond my, maybe because due to my age. When I was young, it's all right to have long hours of driving and then have a class and then go back. But now I'm thinking the age had stopped me to continue the thing that I used to do. Okay, so I would like to apologize. Inshallah, but no worry. I will make sure there will be no replacement class. We will continue the class as it is. Okay, but before we proceed, I think your friends still keep going to come after this. We'll join later. I would like to know when have you received any notification from the kuliah with regard to the face-to-face class? Anyone can give me, inform me? And you, because I do not mind to have online class for whole semester because I'm quite comfortable with it. But if you receive any notification and you are already at a mahalla and you prefer to have face-to-face class, please inform me. Okay, anyone receive a notification or have idea or receive informal announcement from the kuliah about having face-to-face? Can someone respond to it? Sharul Nakman, have you heard about that?
Uh,
Not yet, sir.
Not yet, sir. So now we can say briefly that all classes will be conducted online. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So I think okay, we continue. Hopefully none because when I give a lecture and someone keep coming and then it quite distort the flow of ideas. Okay. 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 I think these are things that and this topic today is a core thing to if you want to know to understand the knowledge management. Okay, it is about your understand. It is about your understanding on what do you know. It's very important. At least you can classify with by yourself. For example, networking. What are the classification of knowledge in the networking in terms of hardware, in terms of application, in terms of the topic in that particular subject, okay, networking, or what else? Infrastructure, the type of the brand that you're going to use, yeah, the network operating system that you are going to use, whether it is compatible to this, not compatible to that. Okay, this is a simple classification. In order for you to know that you know things with regard to your subject, whether kuliah required courses, department required courses, as a beginning. before you enter the industry. Try to classify and try to ask. Okay, try to what call that, the classify first all the knowledge that you have and that you believe you know. For example, for database, web application, or web-based programming, try to classify. Okay, and then after you know with your own classification, and try to match or extend that into the practicality of that information. Ada lagi, all right. Okay, meaning that what I'm trying to say that first, when you classify, we can consider it as an information. But when you are able to extend information into different dimension, different practicalities, different problems, then it is a knowledge. So I don't think. Hope you will get what I'm trying to say. It's very quite complicated to understand unless you try. You list down all the thing that you believe you learn, or you believe you know, or even your FRP. You believe you know, you believe you have familiar with that. You classify it in terms of the network. So, for example, networking, the brand, the hardware, the software, the type of technologies, the latest technologies. Okay, then you try to apply to test whether that information is your knowledge or not. You try to test to match with the different dimension in terms of problems, dimensions, practicalities, and so forth. If you fail to match it, meaning that you are still stuck in information. Meaning you need to do extra effort to transform that information to knowledge. Okay. Meaning that if you are still not sure, or you are incapable to, let's say you want to speak about networking, or to talk about database. Let's say you are applying for database administrator for any company, and you fail to communicate with the vocabularies of the post that you apply, meaning that you are still stuck in the information. These are brothers and sisters. Ask yourself: you are the fourth and third year student. Where are you? Are you already stuck in the information, or you already upgraded yourself to the knowledge? Okay, so, and also one of the things you can test by looking at the definition one in the previous class I mentioned, definition at the by Nonaka and Takeuchi. Define yourself. Truth and belief. One of the Nonaka define knowledge as justified true belief. Knowledge consists of truth and belief. What are the truth and belief? Ask yourself, you are Muslims, there are many things that are related to truth and your belief. Okay? You as a Muslim, you know about your religion, you know about the routines that you do every day, that you know about your aqidah, that's a truth and belief. That thing should become your knowledge. If that thing still information, I don't know, maybe you need to, because we are not going to live in this world forever. We're going to migrate to other dimension, to another world, which is alam barzakh, alam arikh. There are many alam dimension that we need to go. Then where are we? Where are you? Where am I? If we do not know about this thing, truth and belief, ask yourself, beginning, starting point, and then your perspective. Many things related to this world. Okay, perspective. Fourth and third year student, what is your perspective about your future career? What is your perspective about the future technologies? What are the perspective with many things? You as graduate or learned people, what is your perspective on this life, on the political situation in Malaysia, on the situation, international condition? This thing, your perspective. One of the thing very interesting post I read yesterday in my Facebook about I don't know whether it's true or not. Someone asked the Albert Einstein about the speed of noise. He told that person, this thing you can, I do not know for sure. This thing you can check in your textbook. We are training the college graduate to think. This is a thing. I think this is a thing related to the definition by Nonaka, the perspective. Okay. If someone asks you, what is your perspective about the challenge that awaits you after graduation? Will you be able? I'm not going to ask you, no worry, because but it is, if it is a benefit, you try. You already fought a third year student. You are matured student. Okay, we can say that. That's why I'm not going to treat you as what call that, the first year, second year. No. You are the matured student. That's why if someone just came to the class on the video, on the Google Meet and then left, you are on your own. Okay, I base on my class on trust. If you feel there is no benefit at all from my lecture, you are on your own. But do not come back to me. That's why I put all the mechanism. I record the video. I put it because so that you will have a second chance. Okay, but this is a thing that you need to have to think. First, true and belief. As a beginning, to know what you know. First, start with your religion and routines that you do every day as a Muslims. Second, perspective. What are your perspectives? You should be able to express in your own words the perspective about anything that happened around you. Political situation, international affairs, okay, the leaders, corruption, bribery, good governance. There are many things. Okay, if you go for the government interview, they will ask you what is a good governance in ICT. What will be your answer? Anyone? If you can answer, I give you extra mark, one extra mark. Who's volunteer to answer this question? Okay, what's the good governance of ICT in the government sector? And someone can give me your opinion, 2-sentence opinion. Anyone? 1 mark extra.
I think, so for me, good governance also means
Of ICT, good governance of ICT in the government sector.
Okay, I think, in my opinion, good governance in ICT means having the ability and skill to handle and operate all ICT operations very well without any mistakes or
major mistake. Okay.
yeah, major
Or
mistake.
major, yeah. Good, thank you. Yeah, there's only one part of it. Okay, extra mark. Thank you, brother Azhar Saifuddin, 1915625. Thank you very much. Okay. That's the thing that we hope, and there will be asked a lot of question come back from your answer. That's the one perspective. Thank you. At least I'm happy to see that, to know that there are few our students at KCT have perspective. Even simple answer, no problem. As long as because that simple answer can be elaborated further after this by yourself. You every day in your life try to, if you're already fourth and third year student, try to think and come out answers on various perspectives, various things that are happening, and try to provide your own perspective. That's a knowledge. Thank you. Concepts. You learn, for example, many concepts. First, what is a concept? Okay. You can Google it. You can find it as a subjective matters, subjective related entities or notions, premise, okay, understanding on certain items. You can say that in general. So what's a concept of, for example, concept of being, we call that the good ICT professional. What a concept of a good network environment. The concept first and implementation. There are many concepts related to your specialization, related to the thing that you're going, the ambition that you're going to be after graduation, the concept. There are many things. There are many concepts. Concept, construct, realities. Okay. Judgment. These are things that, based on the information that you have about your life, about your position as a student, as the future graduate, how you want to bring yourself into the industry. That's a judgment. How to decide things that whether already happened or going to happen. Because I mentioned many times to my student at other class, I think Islam mentioned, after graduation you are on your own. Okay, no one will tell you what to do or to turn left, to turn right. It's up to your own judgment. So think, based on the information you have, what type of judgment you want to do, how to face the challenges based on that. Okay, expectations. Okay, I mean, I really think I already mentioned this in previous class, but last one is know-how. Know how to be an IT executive, junior SD executive, know how to become the good colleagues of within your organization, how to become the good subordinates of your staff, how to equip yourself with the sufficient knowledge to become, so that you will not become the stumbling block to other people progress in the organization. Know how to equip yourself to know where to get the resources to equip yourself with sufficient knowledge related to your post when you are in the industry. These are the know-how, many know-how. So ask yourself the type of know-how that you know. Okay, so that, and there are many things I'm not going to, these are the things that, because I'm going to, I just repeat. Okay, now we go to the next slide, inshallah. Okay. Last class we discussed about this thing. Okay, the subject, another perspective on knowledge. Okay, subjective and objective. For the subjective, a state of mind. That's why I just give you a suggestion. One of the methodologies you can do for this thing is to, as individual, list down, classify all the, what we call that, information that you have, you know, you believe you know, on certain subjects. Okay, animation, what are the things? There are a lot of animation. Okay, a lot of tools, there are a lot of techniques, there are a lot of concepts, there are a lot of what call that, the I don't know, flows in the animation, let's say, for those who are specializing in animation. And then ask yourself how, where this information has become your knowledge. As mentioned to you just now, by applying, reflecting all the information into the realities, practicalities, dimension, problems, so forth. This is a thing that's it, as individual, subjective. Okay, knowledge is practice. Let's say, for example, simple. If someone give it to you, okay, let's say you are working as a programmer in a company, or animation professional. For example, your boss said, we receive a tender from the RTM, for example, or TV3 or Astro, to have the, let's say, animation, to come out with the Islamic animation related to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Prophet Muhammad. So first you know the the source where you want to get from the literature, from, maybe, how, for example, you can suggest to your boss, look, boss, we need the support from someone who is knowledgeable about Islamic literature, who know how to read Arabic and literature, and also Malays, so that they can transform the summaries to the multimedia team. It's a simple. Then knowledge practice. Then and then those people, those ustads, after they transform all the detail from the book, Islamic literature, into the flow of stories, then as a multimedia professional, how to transform that into the what call that, the frames, for example, as a video from the. They know I'm not going. I do not know. There's your bread and butter for those. Ada lagi. Aduh. All right. Knowledge practice. You know how to transform that ideas into what we call that what we call it as a frame, so that the animation can be rendered. Okay. This is knowledge that practice. You are working as programmer. You know, there are a lot of examples. I'm not going to. Or your FYP2. You have done FYP1. You know, in the solid state of mind. Now you go to as a practice on how to transform all the thing that you want to do into the codings, which is workable codings. Okay, that's a knowledge of practice. Objective view knowledge as object. This is normally for organization as an object. How to classify the knowledge for every individual in the organization to something that is materialized, that is to become the tangible items. Okay, maybe through the classification. Okay, what the library is doing now. They classify all the relevant information in the library so that people can just access indexing by using the indexing method. Knowledge as object. From here, they understand. That's why the knowledge that person have, they classify into the objects, so that people will know. Then they index that type of classification, so that people, when they want to search something, they will get to that right information. Knowledge as accessed information. Yes. Okay. From that knowledge aid, they will get a lot of sub information from that knowledge. Where, for example, you know about the animation, for example. Let's go to animation. Okay. First, the resources. Knowledge has. You hire the ustads from Al-Azhar to become part of your member of your team. Okay. And he knows where to get information about Islamic literature related to the Prophet Sirah. So, for example, book by Az-Zahabi, Siyar A'lamun Nubala, for example, or by Ibn Ishaq, by even Ibn Kathir. He knows the sources. Knowledge, access information. And then he transformed the contents of those books into the series of what call that, the flows, okay, or the plots. Okay, and you as a multimedia team, you know what type of information required, whether 3D using Blender, for example, or just there are many knowledge as access to information, a lot of sub information from that knowledge, and also knowledge as capability, as individual, and also as member of team. The reason why I start here, because this topic is very important. If you're still not sure the definition of information and knowledge, meaning that you will not be able to fully understand the next topic that we are going to discuss. Okay. And I'm hoping to see all this classification, okay, in your case study of your imaginary ICT companies. You can use whatever understanding. Okay, consider when you do your case study report, consider you are already working in that particular industry. Okay, and you can imagine, okay, these are things there. All right. This subject and state of mind, we discussed that already. Okay, view of knowledge, access and capabilities. Okay, let's go back to this one. Knowledge is something that can be stored, transferred, and manipulated. Okay, that's why I give examples. What we have in the library, they classify their knowledge based on the books, indexing it, and put it in the mark record, for example. Okay, that's why when you search something, you are able to get, either using advanced searching techniques or just simple basic searching techniques, you still can get a result If you want to limit your hits, or you can use the advanced technique by using all the Boolean technique whatsoever. Knowledge as information. Okay. As a condition of information, it's something that enable access and utilization of information, which I give you just now example of from the in an animation environment company, multimedia company. Knowledge capability, knowledge strategic capability that can potentially be applied to seek a competitive advantage. Okay. For example, you have 5 members in your company. Every one of the member has its own specialization, okay, or mastery of some 1 or 2 IT skill. Okay. Then if you are able to leverage between this, and everybody has a different, A has a different ada lagi ya ilaha illallah, tak apalah. Alright. Competitive advantage. No, I'm stuck. I don't know. It's very distorted the flow. Okay, tak apalah. We continue lah. Okay. Another type of knowledge is that we have the procedural and declarative, tacit and explicit, general and specific knowledge. By looking at the textbook, I hope that I want to see this in your case study. Okay, this is an example. Top knowledge, procedural, declarative knowledge. They have 3 types. Okay, there are 2 types: tacit and explicit, general, specific. What are those? Okay, in any organization, it is a common for that organization to have this thing. First, it is known as procedural. Okay, knowledge, understanding of how to carry out a specific procedures, know-how, step of action, know how to code based on algorithm. This is a procedural. For example, simple in the government sector, procedural knowledge, meaning that you know how to apply for your leave. You know what will happen if you come late. You know what the first thing you need to do when you enter the building. Attendance, for example. Procedural knowledge. That's the thing. Understanding specific procedure. You know when you receive a contract from if your tender is accepted by a company or by government, how you know what to do next. Simple as student, when you organize program, you know when you want to organize program, you know how to prepare the proposal, you know where to get the information from ebooks or stat. Then you know what the next process will go to spec meeting. And sorry, you need signature from your principal or advisor. Go to spec meeting, and then you get the approval letter. Okay, then you need to apply for sponsorship. If there's thing in sponsorship in your proposal, you apply for it. You go to LO, PO, purchase order, many there's procedural knowledge. So ask yourself, based on the courses that you took for, I think, how many years? 4 years, 3 years of your life. What type of how to relate this in this, because this thing, one of the basic knowledge in any organization, regardless whether it is private or government. Procedural knowledge. I hope that I want to see, because I will read it word by word from your case study report. Okay, I want to see this. If even though it is your company, it's just as imaginary, but still I want to see whether you understand or not the type of procedural knowledge that is available. Okay, for example, if there is a harassment in the organization, what to do, where to report. If there's people who absent for many times without notification, what to do. If someone, what to do if you receive the I don't know if the client make a payment to your job, what to do. There are many things, procedural knowledge, the basic knowledge in any organization. Okay, second, declarative knowledge. Okay, relationship among variables, proposition, know what. For example, you know IDE or suitable programming. For example, programming C#, C++, you know what the type of IDE is suitable for that. Okay, type of project. Okay. Relationship among variables. You know how to refer to the code libraries, for example. You know the suitable algorithm for a project. Why not we use this? It belongs to us. It already copyrighted under our company. Similar. We don't need to repeat it. This is declarative knowledge among variables. You have your past project belong patented under your company, same company, to avoid repeating the wheel. Okay, then you reuse it and with modification. That declarative knowledge. There are a lot of things you can make it example. Okay, from this type. And second is the tacit and explicit knowledge. All right, this is the first one is the procedural. Second one is tacit explicit knowledge. Everybody has tacit knowledge. That's why beginning of this class I asked you to know tacit knowledge is what is about knowing what do you know. You know what do you know. Knowing what do you know. Okay, that's a tacit knowledge. And before you can get that tacit knowledge, there are steps and methods that you need to do. Then one of the method I just propose to you in the beginning of this class. Okay, you have a look, you can think, you can classify. That's also that becomes tacit knowledge. One of the things that can test the tacit knowledge, whether you have that tacit knowledge or not, is someone, for example, simple test, you can make it. You can do it. Try to express try to answer if someone asks you how your specialization will benefit the future company that hire you. How your specialization will benefit the company that hire you. Okay, so if you feel that you are capable to answer it, meaning that you have some sort of some percentage of tacit knowledge. But if you are still not sure, what's that? Meaning that it is not become a tacit knowledge. Still information, not even become the knowledge. Okay? Because you fail to provide insights. You fail to provide intuition. You fail to provide perspective about your specialization. This is very important, brothers and sisters. That's why I put many hours here, because it is very important for us to know what we know, actually. So that we will be able to know what we do not know, and then we will strive ourselves, okay, to identify the relevant resources for that. Okay. Human mind, tacit knowledge, get human mind through experience. It includes insight, intuition, and hunches, more personal, and based on individual activities. So, brothers and sisters, you have spent 3 years of your life at our kuliah. You had attended many courses, whether it is a kuliah, department, or your specialization required courses, you had attended. So, at least, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you got some tacit knowledge, okay, with regard to your program, BIT, BCS. Oh, no, not BCS, BIT. Okay. Now, second part of the knowledge is the explicit knowledge. From tacit knowledge, after if let's say your company very consistent to practice knowledge management, they will require everybody to classify, to categorize, to involved actively in knowledge management environment, at least to have, so that the company will know your expertise. Okay. Then your expertise will be transformed into the method, or into the dimension, or into the contents that people will be able to understand it and benefit from it. It's codified and digitized in documents, books, reports, spreadsheet, memos, computer program, patterns, so forth, so forth. We can convert explicit knowledge to tacit knowledge, explicit to tacit. Yes, it is common. You read something, you understand, that become your tacit knowledge. Okay. However, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Brother Abad, what happened to you? Already 9 o'clock already, half an hour. What? I know. It is my class, even though I'm quite lenient, it is not an hotel, you know. Please, if you are really late, no bother to come. Because quite disturb my flow of ideas. I think it's already half an hour. Okay. All right. Where am I? That's a problem that I don't like after, you know, that a lot of things I want to share with you, and suddenly tap. Okay, we can also convert tacit to explicit. An individual with concentrated knowledge but topic write a book or manual how to formalize the knowledge of tacit of individuals to become the explicit. That's the thing require. Inshallah, we going to discuss about that in later processes when we discuss about knowledge process, knowledge management processes. Okay, how to transfer is common for the to transfer to transform explicit to tacit is a common. Every day we do it every day. We observe things, we learn something, we understand, it becomes our knowledge. You read something, you understand the content, and that become your knowledge. There's a common activities every day. Okay, as humans, directly or indirectly. But now, how to transform the tacit to explicit? Inshallah, that thing requires a lot of discussion. Okay, I'm not going to, but anyhow, it shows that the transformation of both from tacit to explicit, explicit to tacit can be done. Okay, inshallah, we will discuss it when we talk about the process of knowledge management. Another type of knowledge is this in the organization is general and specific knowledge. General knowledge is possible large number of individuals and can be transferred easily across individuals. For example, sometimes it is overstepping on the procedural. I mean, to give you an example. General knowledge. You know that you know what to do as an employee of that organization. You know what to do when you come. First thing you do is to punch your thumbprint to the machine, and you become considered as already attended your working hours. General knowledge. You know that you shouldn't do this. You should not do that. You shouldn't miss you should not come late to the working place, to your office. Okay, that's general knowledge, and can be transferred easily across individual. If you're, let's say in future, you become somebody in the organization, regardless it is a private or government, you want to become, you want to make sure the knowledge management is widely practiced in the organization. First, you need to make sure that this general knowledge, that's why in the government sector, they have the table book manual. Okay, the manual, okay, where so that people will know what they need to do. How many days? Let's say he received a letter from a client, how many days he needs to do? That general knowledge. If he sick, what to do? Go to the clinic, get the MC. That's a general knowledge. General knowledge. If you want to practice that knowledge management in the organization, your future organization, when you become somebody, CEO, CIO, or head of department, first you need to make sure that this general knowledge is transferred make it known across individuals, across members of your organization. It's very important. Okay, your textbook be the rule of football. Okay, for example, you know the generally how computer work. Actually, the role of motherboard, the role of processor, the role of the the ports, the role of bus, the role of the what does it mean by the cores, dual core, 3 core, 4 core, 1.17 different. That's a general knowledge. So I'm not going to ask you, but ask yourself as an ICT graduate in terms of general knowledge. Okay, how many percent? Okay, how many percent of general knowledge that you know? Ask yourself, brothers and sisters. It is very important. Some of you going to finish your FYP2 this semester. Ask yourself about the general knowledge that you have from your FYP, from the courses, and so forth. As ICT graduates, the general knowledge. And second, but it's specific knowledge. Limited individuals. I just give you the example just now. Let's say you have 5 members in the organization, and this, for example, in the computer PC repair company, A is mastering the motherbox and processor. You are mastering the laptop. C mastering on the desktop. Okay, and this is mastering on the network and the internet configuration. Okay, this is a specific knowledge. And you can imagine if this knowledge, this 4 type of knowledge can be leveraged across the members, meaning that A knows but B knows but A. You can imagine this thing, the specific knowledge become general knowledge. And the company has a potential to become, and when someone is absent and the client come and request assistance with regard to the knowledge that A is having and A is absent, B can help. You can imagine the situation, very good situation. Specific knowledge can be 3 types. Technology specific knowledge, which is yourself, your specialization, which is your environment, your future expectation. Context specific knowledge. Okay, context, you know how to, for example, be based on the situation, you can provide the solution, you can suggest the brand, you can suggest the how to resolve that. But there are people who are very good. They know both context and technology. This thing that we are, I hope that our graduate become like this. We will be able, that's why you will look at the syllabuses setting up by our university, there are a lot of, we can say that very not so much relevant to your specialization of BACS or of your program. But still, they want to train you. We want to train you to have this both, context and technology. Some people with good programming, but they are very poor in communication. They don't care about other people's expectation, as long as he or she can code, can do the coding, that's it. But we don't want that. We want to have some, this is I hope that try to ask yourself, where are you? If you are technology, you are context people, specific knowledge or not. But hopefully you become both. Okay. Okay, we already just discuss about that. Okay, what about if comment? We discussed already all this type of knowledge. And I want to see it. Let's say, try to use your imaginary case study as a place where you want to show your understanding on this type of knowledge. All right. Different type of knowledge. We have another point with that, this one. Okay, on the declarative, tacit. We have, and some part of it, some your text will also mention about the situation where this thing can be embedded together. Okay. Declarative explicit become tacit. Procedural explicit, tacit. They have that one. Okay, I'm not going to go there. Okay, knowledge and expertise. Okay, this related to your specialization, your FYP, your the place that you want to be for your internship. Okay, in order to become an expert in particular area, one is expected to master the necessary knowledge and make significant contribution to the concerned field. You know that's why if you want to further your study at the postgraduate level, for example, after do your master, you want to do your PhD by research. That's why in some there are connotation where you want to say you are PhD student, you need to say. Some people say, I am reading PhD in because reading PhD. Why? Not doing PhD, reading PhD. Because to master the necessary knowledge. Literature review, the article, relevant study, the promo previous thesis, relevant books, the scholars in that your particular field. Okay. And make significant contribution after you read almost, not everything is almost impossible, but major works in your field, and you know prominent scholars in your field, and you synthesize all the contents from those knowledge, you come up with a small contribution from that. That's PhD. The novelty of that. So it also reply to you. So we discussed about in the beginning of this class about the classification of information of you feel that you believe it is your knowledge. Networking, database, web programming, for example, security, I don't know. That's your bread and butter. Programming, I don't know. But you classify, for example, networking, what are hardware and the brands. Okay, is it for the server? Is it for the cabling? Is it for what? Router, switches. Okay, and second is part of with regard to the application software, firewall software, or VPN. I don't know. SMTP protocol. I don't know. Or what? Many standards. Okay, or 7 application from the OSI, 7 layers OSI. I don't know. You know about that? That's your field. You classify that, and then suddenly you know about the infrastructure to support it. That's information. Then try to apply to upgrade that information to the particular context and practicalities. And if you're able to come out with something, and that thing become your knowledge. That's why, and you can say that you know something about that. The unique performance of true expert is noticed in the quality of decision making. Where you are able to extend your information, your knowledge into reality, into practicality. Okay, you know how to tackle the problem based by using your knowledge. That's why هل يستوي الذين يعلمون قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون. Okay, the knowledge people and not knowledgeable people. A true expert are usually found to be more selective about the information they acquire. They are better able in acquiring information in less structured situation. They know, very flexible. Okay. Knowledge and expertise, they can quantify soft information and can categorize problem on the basis of solution procedure that are embedded in the expert low-range memory and readily available or recall. Any situation, any things, they based on their current knowledge, current ability to understand the situation, they are able to provide either short-term solution, long-term solution. Okay, they're able to identify the real problems. It's on that. That's expertise. Experts. There are three types of expertise. We can say that, and maybe you can put it in your case study as well. What type of expertise that you feel they are available in your organization, whether it is associational expertise or motor skill expertise or theoretical deep expertise. These are three types of expertise: knowledge and expertise. Okay, maybe for some of you already expert in certain areas, then ask yourself, do you have one of these three elements, or maybe you have three elements, all three, or one or part of from it? Okay, ask yourself. Type of expertise: knowledge and expertise. Okay, maybe knowledge we have it. We have all the knowledge. You can extend your information into knowledge from the various type of practicalities, various type of dimensions. But now to identify whether we are experts or not in that particular area. Okay. What are the associational expertise? First, this individual may have expert level associational understanding of some devices and may able to fix almost any problem encountered. Okay. In networking, he knows almost part of it. This problem, this thing. When this thing happen, he knows he can trigger or she can trigger the source of problems. Associational understanding. When this server down here, and he knows that it's problem not from here, it's from the other switches. Okay, he knows. Associational understanding. Okay, when the system down, he knows what the main problem. Association, because there are symptoms. Okay. You see that if you used to watch the series House MD, you know that? You can see that medical doctor, he can associate many symptoms, and he has a team to discuss about the symptoms of a patient. Associational. No, not this one. This is very good. This is a level of associational expertise. However, because based on the current situation, because of the previous knowledge they have, however, if he encounters a new, previously unseen problem, he may not know how to proceed because he does not understand the inner working of that device. Let's relate to IT example. New things, never seen it before. Then he cannot associate because his understanding to the things that, okay, this is still limitation. All right. I'm going to finish this by today. All right. The second one is motor skill expertise. Okay. Physical rather than cognitive. Physical. Some people not, for example, they are brothers at our kuliah, and also at Mala, for example, who's very good motor skill expertise. He know how to repair the computer, desktop, laptop, okay, phone. He know how to repair the motorcycle. Human improve the skill by repeating and coach practice. Some people they can just repair something from his observation, from his understanding, from his watching the tutorial. He can transform. That's the motor skill expertise, physical rather than cognitive. For me, I'm not this type. I'm just more cognitive. Okay, my wife is the motor skill expertise because he knows about how to modify, repair, and this just the motor skill expertise. Ask yourself where are maybe you can polish your expertise by identifying whether you are physical or cognitive expertise. If you are cognitive, you can speak, you can express, you can suggest, but if you are both, alhamdulillah, both physical and cognitive, mean that you are both motor and associational. Alhamdulillah. Theoretical deep expertise. This is one of the many thing it happened to theoretical professors, academics. Theoretical expertise. Creative ingenuity, based on our theoretical knowledge of the domain. Okay, your lecturer, they know about the topic, the subjects. Okay. The type of knowledge allows experts to solve problems that have not been seen before, yes, because theoretical, deep expertise. Knowledge acquired through formal training, hands-on problem solving. For example, his PhD, in doing in this thing. One of the process in PhD is to read almost very many, too many, I don't know, but almost, especially nowadays, we have thousands, hundreds of journals, journals or sub databases. It's quite tiring jobs to read and understand. And that's theoretical. That's why they put DR at the beginning, because they not consider as theoretical expertise on that particular area. Okay, but it's quite tiring if you not like to become, if you have no interest, don't. But if you are interested to become a lecturer, you love to speak, you love to share, you love to express your ideas, you love other people, and you love to involve with other students, then I think it becomes something, a process or journey process. Okay, before you can become the lecturer, to have this I consider theoretical deep expertise or is a PhD holder, or some people who are professional in his field. For example, in the industry for 20 years, 30 years. Lawyers, for example, theoretical deep expertise. He knows all the enactment, all the section, subsection. Okay, he knows the procedures, how to deal with there are many. This is theoretical expertise. And other classification of knowledge is based on the simple knowledge and complex knowledge. So ask yourself, there are many classification of knowledge actually. Okay, but you can either you want to put everything. I will consider, if you creatively enough to put everything, all the things that you mentioned here in your case study, in your imaginary ICT company, you will get the marks for that. Okay, it means that you are creative. Okay, to apply, whether it's not there, but if creative. What do you mean? Simple knowledge, and simple knowledge maybe we call it the overstep to the procedural knowledge, general knowledge. Okay, but still, the author classify that knowledge based on the situation, based on the environment of that particular industry. Complex knowledge draws upon multiple distinct areas of expertise based on roles, organization, okay, based on simplicity and complexity, based on roles. For the based on simplicity and complexity, there are simple knowledge and complex knowledge. Okay, you can try to extend, we discuss that about this. There's some part of it is quite similar to each other. Based on roles and organization, support knowledge, tactical knowledge, and strategic knowledge. Support knowledge, we can say that it's a lower management. Yeah. Day-to-day operation. You are supervisor, you are the floor manager. Okay. That's a support knowledge. You are staff. But when it comes to tactical knowledge, you are the manager, branch manager, tactical knowledge. It pertains to the short-term positioning of the organization relative to its market, competitors, and suppliers. You are the branch manager, that's your tactical knowledge. You need to be tactical in dealing with the competitors, in anticipating the market situation, in dealing with the suppliers, and so forth. And the last one is strategic knowledge, top management. Okay. For example, the support knowledge is on the supporting staff. For example, in our university, supporting staff, the work at the administrative assistant, or even some the assistant officer. Technical knowledge go to the, we can say that dean, sorry, not the dean, administrator, okay, deputy deans, okay, deans, okay, head of department. And strategic knowledge go to rectors, deputy rectors, chief of the executive directors, or MSD, AMAT. This is the strategic knowledge. Okay, they must have that knowledge. This is a classification. Okay, now we go to the location of knowledge. There are a lot of things. It is called subject for knowledge management. If you want to know knowledge management, as foundation is to understand this. I'm going to finish this, and then inshallah, next class we will going to have on the week number 3. The location knowledge can be found in people, artifacts, organizational entities, and communities or practice. Okay, these are the 4 location of knowledge. Okay, you call it knowledge reservoir. Reservoirs of knowledge, reservoir of knowledge. People, artifacts, and organizational entities, individual, group, practices, technologies, repositories, organization unit, organization, inter-organizational networks. These are the reservoir of knowledge. Knowledge in people, it is taught in the individual within organization. Yes, procedural, general knowledge, it is knowledge people. Okay, knowledge in mind. Okay, when we talk about subjective knowledge as a state of mind. Okay, this is the example of knowledge in people. Knowledge in your mind, your understanding as individual. Okay, individual with organization, it will be lost when a person retires if no story mechanism is developed, when there is no transformation from we call that the tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge. Then I hope you know what does it mean when we mention tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. I'm not going to ask you, but hopefully you know, because we discussed that already. Knowledge within groups, relationship among members working together. This is also knowledge in people. Now we go to knowledge in practice and artifacts. In artifact, they refer to the practices, how members in the organization do the job when dealing with certain projects, when dealing with certain tasks. Okay, what are the expectations by your boss on you as a members to do the job, the practices, and also technologies to support the technologies with the system, with the infrastructures, and so forth. Third, repositories. You have the databases, repositories to store that knowledge or not. All right. The last one is organizational knowledge in organizational entities, units, organization. Okay, I'm not going to. Okay, and on the last one is the knowledge in COP, communities of practice. Very important. Very important. COP is one part of it. It's one of the prominent group of people to ensure the successful implementation of knowledge management. Knowledge in communities of practice, it is an organic and self-organized group of individuals who are dispersed geographically and organizationally, but communicate regularly to discuss issues of mutual interest. Simple example is the programmers of open source software. You see that? There are people who have COP, and they have the noble interest to share information, to share solution, to share the benefit of their knowledge to other people. Then they come out with the open source software, where you can find in your sourceforce.net. Okay, And also, for example, community of researchers at a scientific conference. Okay, do not need to be co-located, but they should interact to learn, share, and communicate with tacit and knowledge about shared interests. You can find in the forum, for example, forum on certain application forum. Okay, for me, one of the best example to illustrate the COP is the programmers join in the development of open source software, any open source software. Okay, because there are a lot of works there involved, a lot of knowledge sharing. Okay, I'm not going to, but I hope that even though it is just I'm not going to ask you to do this, but I want to see, I hope that you can put it in your case study, the availability of the COP in your organization. And other location, okay, knowledge location form of intellectual capital. Organization intellectual capital refers to the sum of all its resources, which may be within or outside the organization. Okay, we discussed about that in the previous class. I hope you remember in your textbook. Okay, discuss the classification of the intellectual capital comprising. When we talk about intellectual capital, it refers to the human capital, organizational capital, and social capital. These are things that. Okay. Of course, alhamdulillah, we come to the end of the class. I hope, I don't know whether how many percentage of knowledge or information that you got from today class. I hope more than 50%. I don't know. Okay. If you're not, it is not tacit. I hope it is explicit. Okay. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. If it is not tacit knowledge, I hope it becomes the explicit knowledge. Okay, the thing that we discussed in today's class. Knowledge is different from data information, of course. Alhamdulillah, we discussed that in the beginning of this class. For those who just come late, I'm sorry. You can refer back to the lecture when I upload to the Ta'lim. Knowledge in the area can be defined as justified belief about relationship among concepts relevant to that particular area. Knowledge can be of different types. Yeah, we discussed about that. There are many types. You can from the subjective, objective, procedural, many things. Okay, characteristic and so forth. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so brothers and sisters, we finish the topic number 2. Inshallah, next class we are going to have the further discussion. Okay, on the topic number 3. Okay, when I hope that the reason why I give more time to this because it is a foundation to understand knowledge management. It's related to your position. Okay, as a future IT professional, on how you can survive in that after graduation in the IT industry. Okay, so that you'll be able to. That's why we discuss about the context, technical, what I mean by expertise. Okay, so ask yourself, reflect the thing that we discussed today, because you already some of you 4th year done of FP2, you will go to internship. Okay, so at least you got some ideas on how to survive, on how to to contribute, to work positively with other colleagues. Okay, because you are bearing the reputation of our institution, our kuliah, our university. Okay, so forth. I think that's all from me. I hope that all of you, especially for those the latecomers, please write down your name at the chat section as a proof of your attendance. If there is no question, I think we stop here. We adjourn here with the tasbih kafara and surah al-asr. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal 'asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bil Okay, thank you very much, brothers and sisters. You may leave now.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Salam.
Thank you, sir.
Salam. See you next week, all of you.
Salam, sir. Sorry,
Salam.
sir. My
Yes.
comment section is loading.
What?
The comment section is loading, so I can write my name.
Sorry. No, I understand the situation of no problem. Small matter, just a kidding. That's why I allow you to enter. If I'm serious, I'm not going to allow you to enter. No problem.
Sorry, sir.
I understand this is the situation of student. Not everybody has a broadband in the house.
Yes, I use my hotspot.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
You can leave now.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam. No problem, brother Awad. Just kidding. I understand. Otherwise, I'm not going to allow you to join. Sorry for if you take it seriously. I'm sorry.